Welcome to the very first KillerFrogs.com hour. Wow. Sean, I got Sean Fouché here with me tonight. Sean is most of you know, our right-hand man. I mean, he's our jack of all trade. He's our producer. He's our script guy. He does all the workings behind Killer Frogs to keep it running. And where's Wes tonight, Sean?
You know, he's in Chicago.
In Chicago.
He stuck me here with you.
He stuck you, and you know we could go down in flames together. Though I don't think he wanted to be part of the big pile if we burn down tonight.
His instructions were specifically for me to keep you out of trouble.
Well, and that's going to be hard to do, as you know. I stay in trouble.
I'm going to require a raise.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're good about that. We couple pennies here an hour. We'll get that worked out. But man, we're tickled to be here. Of course. For you that don't know who I am, I'm Scott Nix. I'm one of the owners of KillerFrogs.com. Wes Phelan's the other owner, and like we said, he's in Chicago tonight. A little bit about a history about Killer Frogs. Well, first of all, we got a big crowd of Killer Frogs people out here tonight. How about a big cheer? Wow. For y'all that are watching online, we've got a big crowd. Y'all need to come down here and check this out. And of course, we've got our great sponsor down here, Brewsters. I mean, Brewsters has been a great partner with us for months, and what a great place this is down here. They have some of the best hamburgers anywhere you're going to find, gourmet hamburgers. And tonight's 60-cent wing night.
It is 60-cent wing nights.
60 cent. Hey, you know, and I got some big boys here. I know, man, I see Blaze Foltz over there, and W.C. Nix and Bill Tomini, and oh, man, I see some big old boys in here. Justin Garvin. I mean, these guys can put some wings away.
I think we're going to sell out of wings.
We could sell out of wings tonight for sure. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get any, and that's kind of sad. So I'm still battling anorexia. Just be easy on me, okay?
Well, you have slimmed down quite a bit.
Yeah, right. Okay. A little bit of history about Killer Frogs for you that don't know. Killer Frogs started in 1997. There was a guy named Don Dow before us that had the Frog Fan Forum. When that went away, we went to the forum now that we have Killer Frogs. That was done by Wes Phelan, about 6 other partners. And then we got up, and you know, back then, those days, Sean, you and I were just like everybody else on there. We were just
posting,
getting hooked on there and liking it, and I guess it just grew into something. And then I guess about 2005, 2006, Wes and I started talking about some ideas, maybe to up the game a little bit, and Wes asked me to buy it, and I bought it. And then, man, I thought I had to keep the core Killer Frogs, who I feel like the heart and soul is Wes Phelan. You know, he's been here all the year, the original creator. And, of course, he'll be here the next 8 weeks after this with us, or should be. You know, and we've just tried to grow this thing, and we started doing some extra stuff, doing our videos, having fun with that. Nobody, I don't think, takes us too seriously in what we do.
Nobody takes you seriously.
No, nobody takes me seriously, but it's for a little bit of entertainment value plus a lot of loyal frog value. And now this has been a dream for about 2 or 3 years to have either radio or a live TV internet format. So we just took it right up to the live TV format, and here we are today for our first show. So, Sean, what's your recollections of Killer Frog? I mean, what's it meant to you, and how did you become part of us?
Oh, I've been on the site since 97.
97?
Yeah.
That's about where I came.
I know. It's just kind of too old.
But you were in college then.
I was in college.
So a lot of folks that are on the site now started when they were in college and got involved, and then here we see them as they're 17 years later. I mean, it's a long. Some of these folks that started back with Wes that were in college are now in their 40s almost, and so.
You're gonna make me feel old here in a minute.
Well, you're not quite there. You're going to keep the young side of us, as I'll keep the blue hair side of it, I guess. Saying
I'm the no hair.
Well, I'm an early blue hair at 54, so anyway.
It's a good look.
It's a good look,
yeah,
absolutely. I need all the disguise I can get. I'm just glad I got some hair up there, Sean. So here we are.
Scott, what are we going to talk about today?
Hey, we've got a big program today. We changed our program what we thought. out there, guys. We thought that, for all you listeners out there, we thought that we'd start off talking about Oklahoma football. But there was a
that's
little.
right. Number 4's coming into town.
Number 4 is
Yep,
coming into town, and it's going to be a big game. And we're going to talk a lot about that in our second segment today. We're going to do that. But this first segment today, I guess it was around 11 o'clock last night, and I kind of texted you, Sean. I said, you see what's going on TV? And, boy, we had some big news coming last night.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of caught me right in the middle of my catfish noodling hour.
Your catfish noodling hour. That's right. I forgot about that. Well, a little bit of okie noodling going on, and we'll definitely going to see some of those type of people in there. But we'll see how that goes. But we're gonna bring a guy up right now that's going to help talk a little bit about what went on last night in that Kansas City Royal game. Jansen Whitty, are you out there? Jansen? We're going to have Jansen Whitty. You guys let Jansen makes his way up here. For you that don't know Jansen, hey, come on up, Jansen. Pull a chair up here. We're going to slide him in here. Jansen, put on those headsets there. Hey, this is the great Jansen Whitty, and you wonder why. Well, it's football season. Why don't we have Jansen Whitty on here? Well, Jansen Whitty, as most of you know, was a superstar TCU player for 4 years, started for 4 years, was a freshman when we made our first College World Series appearance in Omaha, and was a big part of that team. And Jansen came in after Matt Carpenter, and we what are we going to do at third base after Matt Carpenter left us? And then, man, we did not miss a beat. In fact, we probably improved, and that's no insult to Matt Carpenter in several areas with Jansen Whitty, and did a tremendous job. Jansen, tell us where you are now, what's going on. I know what you're doing, but why don't you tell the folks, you got drafted last year.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for that introduction. But I got drafted by the Boston Red Sox. This past season was my first full season. I started off in Low A, which is in Greenville, South Carolina, which is a really cool town. And then the All-Star break, I got promoted to High A, which is in Salem, Virginia. So that's where I wrapped up the season, but ended up overall was a good year, but glad to be back.
Well, and Jansen's not the kind of guy that's going to brag on himself, but let me tell you about Jansen. Jansen, like you said, was started out in Low A this year after being a few months last year in the minors with them after the season, and then got promoted up to High A, and it was real close to whether he was going to get moved up again. And he got injured last year, and so he had to come back from I remember you had a pin in your hand about this time last year, didn't you?
Yeah, not the best experience.
I mean, it was sticking out literally out of your thumb, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got hit by a pitch, broke my thumb, had surgery, had a couple pins, and so my first season ended a little short. But.
So it ended a little short. Expectations, coming back, was he going to be able to recover from this injury? Not only did you not recover from the injury, you were one of the top hitters in the whole Boston minor league Red Sox organization. You were in the top 5 in several categories, and I think you ended up with a average for the year of like 312, 313.
I'm not sure. I just saw some stats come out, and it had the.
Well, I am sure. I checked it.
Okay,
312,
well,
313.
Then you would know. I don't know. I haven't looked.
Absolutely. Well, and I've got to be honest. Jansen is one of my all-time favorite TCU baseball players, and his family. Just a super family, and supported him. I wanted to talk a little bit, Jansen, and I know next year you got to be excited. What's it look like in the Boston organization? Where do you think you'll start out next year? Got any ideas?
I really have no idea. I assume I wouldn't start any lower than where I finished last year, but I think there's definitely a chance I could start at the next level, which would be AA.
Right.
So that's my goal, just at some point be in AA next year. If I could start there, it would be fantastic. But once you get to AA, you're a phone call away from the big league. So that would be my goal as of right now.
Well, and the good thing about it, Jansen, is not only this year, they kind of took you off third base, and I know that's where you like to be at home, but they made a first baseman and a second baseman out of you. You played it. How was that for you?
Yeah, on our team in Greenville and Low A, we didn't have anybody really tall enough to play first base once one of our guys went down. So, you know, it just kind of threw me over there, and I ended up playing all right. So I wound up playing there the rest of the season. Even after I got promoted, they had a guy that played first. But him and I just kind of flip-flopped between first and third. Wound up playing a lot of the time at first base. I feel comfortable over there now, so, you know, really I'll just play wherever they stick me. It doesn't really matter to me.
And, you know, one of the guys you played against, I believe you played against him, was the man of the day yesterday in the Horned Frog Kingdom, Brandon Finnegan. Didn't you guys kind of cross there a game or two?
We did. You know, it took me a lot longer to get where I was than it took him. You know, he got drafted, and then he was there a week later. So, you know, where it took me almost 2 years. But, yeah, luckily we didn't have to face him, which I was happy about. I'm sure our team was too, because I'd been bragging about him all week when I found out we were heading that way.
Right. And you did see a couple other guys, I believe Jason Coates and Jerome Pena.
Yeah, you know, our league, we only had about 8 teams in the league, so we wound up playing each other a lot. So got to see Coates a few times and got to see Pena a lot.
And I tell you, every time you've played Pena, you know, his batting average wasn't real good all year, but every time he would play Jansen Whitty, he was going like 3 for 4 and being the team MVP. Did you make him mad or something in college?
No, you know, maybe the opposite. We'd go out to dinner and have fun the night before, and I don't know, maybe he just felt more comfortable. I don't know. We always have fun when we're on the same field together, whether we're on the same team or against each other. We wound up, you know, laughing and having a good time.
And underneath, it's got to make you proud to see other Horned Frogs do well.
Oh, for sure, and that's the biggest deal with watching Carp and Finney and everybody and Holiday. That's, you know, they're making TCU proud.
Well, I tell you, Sean, are we ready to pan up here and show a little Finney highlights here from last night?
No, absolutely.
All right. Well, why don't we get to that real quick? Run this. Here we go.
13 outings. This kid could do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 10. He struck out Coco Crisp for the first out in the 11th. Couple of months of the year. Sam Fuld lays down a bunt right back at Finnegan, who guns him out for the second out. Got him looking. Gets it down. Nix throws him out. Go ahead run at second.
Okay. Man, I mean, Finney was pumped up last night. I mean, you saw his reaction off the mound and the reaction of the fans last night in supporting him. I mean, that had to send a chill down your spine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a big game, and, you know, that's, you know, how he's been his whole career at TCU. It seemed like even as a freshman, he could come up big, and, you know, I'd say he's a big game pitcher, and everybody's starting to realize that.
Well, it's big. I mean, he just got brought up in September, and for him to be part of, I mean, how big was this for the Royals organization? I mean, they have not, I don't know when they've been in the playoffs last, and you know, that was one incredible game last night. If you saw, the Royals looked like they were done in the 8th inning, down to 7-3, and then you see a comeback in the 8th and the 9th to tie it up. I mean, going into the 10th, they bring in Finney. He wipes them off the map on the 10th and 11th, and then in the 12th, he gives up the walk, and you're like, oh no, but they decided to make a pitching change in there. And after the bunt, and then he had a little bad luck with the pitcher. I can't remember the former Ranger pitcher that came in there. I can't think of his name either, but he came in there and kind of blew the game, it looked like, for him, and gave up a hit there to a guy that hadn't hit anything in forever. I think he was like 3 for the last 24 or whatever. And but the Royals, what they did there in the 12th inning was amazing.
Yeah, and, you know, I saw on Twitter today that the Royals manager was quoted as saying that Finnegan saved their season. You know, he's come up big for them, and I know he's glad to be there, and I think they're really glad to have him. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got left in the tank for the rest of this postseason.
Okay, let's look at the reaction here after the game. You know, there was only 2 guys that got interviewed post game, and Finney was one of those 2. And I tell you what, I was one proud Horned Frog, as I know everyone was here.
The city tonight. The kid Brandon Finnegan. He's with Matt.
Thank you, EJ. Brandon Finnegan, you were pitching college ball just a few months ago. This is just a little different, right?
Just a tad bit. I mean, it's been fun ever since I got up here. I'm definitely blessed to be up here. It's been awesome.
What were the emotions like when you were called upon in this kind of atmosphere?
I mean, honestly, it took me back to the College World Series. I mean, big stadium, big crowd, you know, that's all I can think of. And I've been in situations like this before, so, I mean, that's how I took it. I mean, just had to go out there and do my job.
It's been a battle for this team to get here over the years. You weren't part of all that. You get to battle a little more now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we go to Anaheim and take it to them, but, I mean, we got to keep playing our type of baseball.
How about the stolen bases for this team tonight? It's been a weapon all season long, 7 of them. How effective, how much pressure does it put on the guys on the mound opposite you?
Oh, it puts a ton. I mean, that just shows what kind of team we are. We're very aggressive on the base path. We got a lot of guys that can steal bags, so I mean, it's awesome. But when you're a pitcher, that definitely puts a lot of you know, stuff on you. So it's hard to get through that, especially when a guy doesn't take over. I mean, we faced a good pitcher tonight, and luckily we got to him.
We'll see you in Anaheim.
Awesome, sounds great.
All right, seeing Finney in Anaheim. I mean, could you even imagine that? I mean, Jansen, put yourself in his place. I mean, this is you last year, and you go in the Boston organization, and could you have ever dreamed that you would be playing in a championship level game in the major leagues just a few months afterwards?
You know, it's kind of tough to put myself there since I've never been there, but I think he makes a good point just referring back to College World Series. That's the biggest stage I've ever played in. And, you know, just talking to Matt Carpenter and talking to him last year about the World Series and what it's like, he said, you know, honestly, it's the same as the College World Series. You know, it's just a little bit, it's scaled up just a tad, but, you know, it really is the same thing. So.
And, you know, you brought up Matt. You know, of course, we got Matt, who's tremendous. We've got Brian Holiday. He's going to be in the playoffs here as a backup with the Tigers. But, boy, is Finney not shining right now? I mean, you got to think they're going to use him when they need him now. They've got his confidence. The coaches seem to have confidence, and the fans seem to love him, and the media loves him. You can see, pretty funny statement there. They seem to be making the pundits making fun in a kind way to him about him comparing to College World Series. But in all seriousness, that's all he had to compare it to. And it was pretty funny on the level with, I'm sure, the national pundits, you know, it's something a 21-year-old kid will say. So, and handling that kind of pressure, I don't think I could handle it at 21 years old, being on that kind of front. So it says a lot about his fortitude and what he's able to do at that level.
Well, you know, just watching him pitch last night, I knew for a fact that he wasn't nervous, but I knew somewhere in that stadium his dad was up there pacing around, and I knew his dad was nervous, more nervous than anybody.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we know Gary Finnegan. Gary, great guy. And, you know, Brandon, I think most people know he's from here. He's a Fort Worth boy, not only TCU, but Fort Worth Southwest, just like you are. You know, you're from Arlington Martin. You guys are local products, and man, do we love that we have local folks here that are succeeding at the major league level, and we're going to see that. We've got a little bit more here of Finney on the Fox post game for you to enjoy, and let's go with that, Sean.
All right, guys, I'm here with Brandon Finnegan. It's unbelievable. What a job you did coming in there tonight. Tell us how you felt about that.
Felt awesome. I mean, I was lucky to get into it, you know. I mean, any person that got in the game tonight was definitely very lucky. It's the first time in 29 years, so to be a part of this team and being able to get in is awesome.
College World Series, minor league ball, big leagues, and now the first playoff win in over 29 years. Come on, Brandon.
I mean, it's awesome. It's definitely awesome. It's hard to put into words, but I mean, we still got a lot of work to get done.
Yeah, there is. Hey, what about Ned when he asked you to stay out there? What that make you feel like when he come in and say, hey, look, I need you for the next inning?
I mean, it made me feel like he trusts me a lot, you know. I mean, having that kind of trust in me, and I mean, it's hard to have, especially when I'm so young, you know. It's my first couple months in the show, so I mean, it just showed me that he had a lot of trust in me, and I went out there and got the job done, luckily.
Take a look at those folks behind you that love you, man. Unbelievable. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and they do love him, and we love him here in Fort Worth. Tremendous deal. Jansen, thank you so much for coming up with us tonight. You know, we all are following your career, and we know what a great young man and great young testament to TCU are, and a great role model and example to young kids. The one thing, me knowing you personally, I know how hard you work at your craft, and I know that if there's anything that can be done on you personally, it'll get done and you'll make it, because I know you don't quit, and I know you don't stop, and I know what kind of person you are. And that goes a lot to your parents. Your parents are great folks. They supported you.
Yeah, well, they're here supporting me tonight, too. They heard I was talking, so they made the trip. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And being one of our special guests tonight.
And having to put up with Scott.
And put up with me. You get a gift card to Brewsters tonight, a $25 gift certificate, courtesy of Brewsters and KillerFrogs.com. And thank you for coming on tonight.
Sweet, I'll be back. Thank you all so much.
All right. Thank you. Yes, we'll have you back again this season.
I'm into Brewsters.
Good job, Jason. Is everything okay?
Hey, Killer Frogs, I'm here at Brewsters today. As you know, you get 30% off on your food with the coupon you get off of Killer Frogs. What you didn't know is that every Wednesday, they've got Wild Wing Wednesday. 60 cents per wing, a 6-wing minimum. You got 4 different flavors to choose from: buffalo, barbecue bourbon, Thai chili, and the famous Caribbean jerk. Speaking of Caribbean jerks, I'm going to have one myself right now.
Go Frogs!
Go Frogs.
Okay, we're back. We're coming back now. Appreciate that break. Did I really eat all those wings, Sean?
Yes, you did.
I ate all those wings?
All of them.
Really?
Every single one. And then you asked for seconds.
I must have been in a food coma. I just don't remember. My therapist, I'll talk to her this week about that. That's interesting.
That's going to be a long session.
Well, and what brings me up, I mean, we were talking about Brewsters. Brewsters, I mean, I think they just won the best specialty hamburgers in Fort Worth.
Lock and loaded.
It doesn't get any better than the lock and loaded, I can tell you that. Well, they do have a couple of other great burgers here, but their wings, their fries. Have you ever had their fries? It's got the cheese and jalapenos.
Loaded fries.
Loaded.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Amazing.
And it's not just a small amount either. I mean, they literally put it on what looks like a wagon wheel and just deliver it to your table.
And absolutely right here. They want it right here in the Fort Worth Magazine, Battle of the Burger. And so, proof, guys, you got to come down here to Brewsters. And tell me a little bit, you're the brewmaster here, beer guy. Sean, tell me about their brews
but
here.
I do enjoy a few pints every now and then.
A few pints?
Yeah,
tell me about
absolutely.
some of the brews they have here.
Well, they've got about 50 beers on tap back there, and they're some terrific beers. It's not just your standard, big brewery type of beers. They got a lot of local beers as well. So a lot of local Texas brews, some amazing brews, even locally here from RAR. They got Petacolas, they've got Revolver. They got some great Revolver beers back there. So if you do like the local flavor, come on down here to Brewsters, because they've got you covered.
And the greatest thing, they've got 15 televisions down here? They got 15 televisions. They've got, great folks down here. Brian down here. Ryan's working back there. Hey, wave over at us, Ryan. You hear us over there? There he is. Yeah, these guys are working hard in here. We got Kimberly waiting and other waitresses going around here. These folks, these are some nice folks here. This is a great place to feel at home, and they love the Frogs.
Oh, it's a wonderful atmosphere, especially at game time.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you can't make it to the game on Saturday, come on down here and watch it, because you've got wonderful views on all these TV sets. You got wonderful food, wonderful beers, great waitresses.
And one of the great things right now is you go to your KillerFrogs.com mobile phone, get up, pull up to 30% off. You get 30% off all the food till the end of October. We've renewed that deal. And then that does not include the 60-cent wings, but 60-cent wings, are you kidding me?
Come on, yeah.
As good as they are, I mean, that's awesome. And so we're excited to be in partnership with Brewsters. and a great organization. Okay, Sean, it's that time. We've got to talk about football now. I mean, we had the SMU Mustangs last week.
Poor ponies.
Poor ponies. You know, we went around.
Maybe not poor ponies.
Well, you know, we went around pregame. Some of you saw our videos with that, and you know, they have a little different tailgating atmosphere over there than we do.
Yeah, they do. You know, between the horrible SMU band following around and blasting in your ears, they do have a bit of a different culture.
They do. You know, chandeliers and candelabras.
I didn't know they really liked Liberace over there at SMU.
I didn't know. Well, you know, we did find out he was in the master's program there, and that was definitely a huge part of it. But let's talk SMU, 56-0. I mean, should we even be playing these guys anymore? I mean, we've had
well, that is the debate. Obviously, there are some strong
there's some strong feelings out here
whether or not we should.
And you know, there's a lot of people that thinks that we ought to be playing a UTSA and University of Texas San Antonio. If we're going to play that, at least you get maybe. I mean, they have brought their program up quite a bit. Larry Coker's done an outstanding job.
Amazing job
down there. I mean, they care about their football program down there. They started off with a huge slaughtering of Houston this year. And I mean,
that was their home opener, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Houston's home opener. Brand new stadium.
I couldn't even imagine that a couple years ago. I mean, they didn't exist.
I know.
They didn't have a football program.
I mean, my wife went to UTSA.
Right. Well, UTSA. Well, the great thing is, if we played them instead of SMU, it would be a great. If we played them every other year or got them in the mix, that'd be a great road trip to go down, enjoy the Riverwalk, play in the Alamo Dome, do things like that. I think that'd be really good. So, you know, I hope that we're looking at some more outlets, not to say we don't ever have to play SMU again, but kind of funnel it around, because I think they're always going to want to play that Division 1AA type, like Samford, but as far as an SMU, let's shift it out, make it more interesting, because it's almost getting every year that the SMU game is getting like a SMU this week. We've got to get through this.
Well, you know, on the flip side of that, let me play devil's advocate for a moment. Why don't we just replace the 1AA team with SMU?
Because the 1AA team, the 1AA team may be better. Oh well. There's no Pony fans in here. We can get away with that. Yeah. We can get away with that. All right.
Maybe true.
And we didn't have any highlights from the SMU game last week.
Well, you know what? I was so busy typing. Every single time I looked up, there was a touchdown. I didn't have time to.
It was all highlights last week.
Everything was a highlight.
I tell you that.
Even that wonderful play in our backs to the end zone.
Oh yeah.
Was a highlight.
That was.
Everybody remember this play? Right, so, you know, we're backed up on the one.
Right.
Right, and Joey Hunt apparently snaps the ball at Boykin's feet. Which, by the way, Boykin actually wore the same color tennis shoes this time as everybody else. So that's a plus.
We forgot.
But he hikes the ball at his feet, and Boykin runs after the ball, grabs it before it goes out of the end zone, realizes his momentum's going to carry him out of the end zone, turns around, flings the ball, it hits the upright, and it was like Keystone Cops.
It was. It was.
You were an old offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say old, but I mean you were.
I am an old offensive lineman.
So take us through that play. What did you see when that play?
Well, when I saw that play happen, it exactly what you saw. You and I were both in the press box up there watching it, and we thought Keystone Cops. That's what we thought, and then
Benny Hill.
Then when we found out, and I think Joey Hunt did explain what happened. Do we have that on here?
Yeah, we do. Here.
Let's see what Joey Hunt had to say about that play.
Well, I was just squatting down. I was looking over to the left because I got an alert call, so I was seeing if anyone was blitzing anything. And I just saw the guy like a yard and a half offside, so I just snapped it back there, not even ready, just completely squatted down. And then after that, it probably didn't look very good, but we got 5 yards, so that's really what my goal was.
Well, there you have it. If you didn't hear it good, or if you did or not, that was Joey talking about the play, and it was really a heads-up play, which you want most centers to make that play. When a guy's offside, and Joey, as he said, it's on a yard and a half offside, just snap the ball. It doesn't really matter what happens. because it may look bad like it did then, and everybody was like, what the heck? But what a lot of people didn't see is that they had an SMU player a yard and a half off.
Well,
and it was
I
going to
tell
be
you
an
what,
automatic 5.
There aren't many plays that make SportsCenter that were about the center.
Right.
I mean, how many plays do you see on SportsCenter that are highlights from the center?
I can tell you as an offensive lineman and being a brother of 2 other offensive linemen, you don't get much credit. It's and we'll have a guy. I tell you what, why don't you get this guy on up here? Come on up here, Blaze Foltz. Come on up. I got him over there. He's putting down some food. You know, it's
Bring
hard.
your beer up here too. That's fine.
Yeah, it's hard to take.
It's the internet. It's not broadcast. Come on up here.
It's
man.
hard to take an offensive lineman away from his food. I can tell you that right now. Here he comes up here. Everybody give a big hand to Blaze Foltz. Man, we got some beef up here now, Sean. You feeling small?
I'm going to have to scoot over.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny.
Yeah, do you have an extra chair?
Absolutely. You know, I got big Blaze Foltz in here. And, you know, Blaze, probably one of my favorite players of the last 10 years.
Stop.
Well, you know, it's mainly because I like your other brother and your mother. They're really nice folks. Anyway, but Blaze, I got to know Blaze a few years ago, and really, first time we really ever talked was in a media session, and had media, was in there messing with the guys, as you guys know that I like to do, and I couldn't get anything over on Blaze.
We clicked. I mean, it was like older brother, little
I know,
brother
absolutely. We clicked it. And then I met his mom, and his mom's a wonderful person, Heidi. I just don't know how he fed you and Brady. She fed you and Brady at all. I mean, did she own like Benny Keith or something?
We own cattle.
Is that what it is, cattle? Okay. Well, you have the same problem my parents had with 3 of us, I can assure you. But Blaze was part of that Rose Bowl team a couple years. I see you got your Rose Bowl shirt on here.
Well, it was a nice day, so.
A very nice day.
I washed clothes. That was a big deal.
Absolutely. and Blaze was captain of the team and a big part of our offensive line during that time. And, you know, this is your second year out. You know, it hadn't been that long ago. You've been out there on that field.
I'm washed up now.
You're washed up, huh? No arena football, nothing like that?
No, nothing for me. No, I'm just working, man.
You're a working man. What are you doing now?
I work at Bell Helicopter.
Bell Helicopter. You know, offensive linemen, it's like we know, they are the smartest guys on the team, right?
That's true.
That's exactly right. Bell Helicopter, you know.
I completely agree with you.
Now, I kind of throw.
I got a question. How did your head ever fit into something that small?
Mine or his?
His.
Yeah, mine. Well, you know what? This is a bigger head than mine. This happened to be my brother WC's original helmet from the mid-'80s that he has. You know, obviously you can tell it wasn't mine because all the award stickers on there, you know. Mine was pretty bare, if you could say. I think I gathered 1 sticker on my helmet, the deal. But this is a sticker of a 2-time MVP Hall of Fame member. And I'd still tell him he only got that because of me, but he doesn't listen well. But he's over here today, so appreciate him coming and letting us use this as part of our. You know what's nasty about this, Sean?
I noticed he left the mouthpiece.
He left his mouthpiece in there. I mean, can you imagine the germs?
I can't believe you're touching it.
Well, here's the problem. We might ought to have this thing disinfected by the Ebola people while they're over in Dallas.
Wow.
You know, same people.
Right
now that I've touched it, I definitely need to be in isolation.
Yeah.
So anyway,
watch that.
Might be a different kind of isolation. Anyway, you know, the reason we brought Blaze up tonight, we're going to talk about the Oklahoma game. And you played Oklahoma 2 years ago. Tough outfit. You know that their defensive line is notoriously one of the best. Their defense is fast, much in the way our defensive is. You know, looking at both defenses this weekend, Blaze, I see that both defenses are solid, tough, fast. And you look at the backfields are solid. You know, what's this guy's name on Oklahoma? P. Ryan?
P. Ryan.
P. Ryan, yeah.
P. Ryan.
I believe that's the official way.
His last name is P. Ryan.
Well, his first name, I believe it is Samaje. Samaje P. Ryan. And, you know.
That's a really good running back.
The Tank.
The Tank. Well,
they call him the Tank.
You know, Bob calls him the Raging Bull. You know, Stoops called him the Raging Bull on a radio show today. And so I guess that's what he's going to be tough. But looking at our backfield, our quarterbacks, you know, Trevor Knight is a great quarterback for Oklahoma. But, you know, you can't take away from what Trevon Boykin's done for us, and he gives us that extra option here. But when I nail it down to everything and I really look at this game, Blaze, and the reason I wanted you up here, offensive line play. Yeah. I think our offensive line is going to be the key to this game. What do you think about that? Your brother's one of those offensive line with Brady. Tell us about how do you think they're going to hold up this week?
You know, ever since the first game, you've seen camaraderie between this group this year, and it's a totally different O-line than we had last year. It's awesome. It's great to see as a former O-lineman to see it go back to the way it was. You know, my senior year, we kind of had it there. It kind of seemed like it was losing it, and I think last year we did. I mean, and if you don't have a strong O-line group with a strong leader, I mean, you saw it was going to happen. It brings the whole team down.
And that brings up a good point. You know, when you were there, I mean, it did look, whether it was, you were the captain. I knew Blaze Foltz was leading that unit there. You were the most emotional, the most get after guy that we had out there, and quite honestly, we kind of lost that. And so you think that them building together now, they're building that. Who would you see as the leaders of that offensive line this year?
I mean, a kid that came out when he was a freshman, I was a senior, and played for us. Got thrown in the fire, Joey Hunt. You've seen it. The kid has become the leader of the team. He's become the leader of the offensive line for sure. He's just to watch him grow from when. I mean, I've known him since he was 18. I mean, this kid has become a man in front of our eyes as an offensive lineman, and it's great to see. I mean. You've known our previous O-lines, Jake Kirkpatrick, Blake Schluter.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have a great center, you have a good offensive line, you have a good team, and proof's in the pudding.
Well, and one of the most notable things of note, Blaze, we haven't been jumping off a lot off sides and stuff. This is such a quick offense. Do you think that's helping them get set? Now, of course, they're audibling out of that as they get set up there, and that's tough too, but there seems just so much more discipline.
Yes, you know, I think that with their new system and the discipline that they have, and it goes all the way back to the camaraderie thing. You know, having a leader, having those guys gel. I mean, those guys. I mean, it's that family unit that we used to have, and it's back, and it's so great to see as an alumni and as a former offensive lineman, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Absolutely, and it's you know. Offensive linemen were a struggle here for many, many years, way before your time. And but you know, we got some pretty big groups. The guy coming back here when LT's group back in 2000, and then it built up into all the way to the Rose Bowl group. And you know, you guys handled people like J.J. Watts pretty well. Then you know, J.J. Watts is going to be J.J. Watts in the Rose Bowl, but between the linemen, you guys, and you know, what Dalton did. I would imagine Romo's looking for suggestions how to handle him this weekend. What do you think?
I'd say go ask Jake Kirkpatrick about that one.
Jake, right? Yeah, exactly. Boy, that's a tough deal to have. You know, they've got a great defense, like we said. Their cornerback, Zach Sanchez, he's got 5 straight games with picks back there. So, you know, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on our offense, and they're going to be trying to pick the ball off. They're going to try to beat. The one thing I don't think they've seen is good, though, so far, and who they played. And, of course, West Virginia gave them a pretty good run. The quarterback from West Virginia, Clint Trickett, he's done a pretty good job now. But I'll tell you, if Boykin is on, he's a load to have to deal with.
You know, and that goes back to the growth that those guys have done. Trayvon Boykin has become the quarterback in front of our eyes. He's become the player. He's become the guy that we all want to see. He's become a leader out there, and he's shown to us these last 3 games that the guy can get it done.
Yeah, I think one of the big takeaways from Tuesday's press conference with Coach was the question was, what did you see was most improved with Boykin from season to season? And he said, more we. Yeah. In his play, and I think we've seen that. He's not trying to do it all himself.
Yeah, and with the receiving core that we have now and the system that we have, it's just clicking, and you can see it. You know, as a fan, as an alumni, you're just like, you're in awe of what we're doing right now.
Well, how does Brady feel about that? Brady's the first one of you guys. You didn't be part of this new system. But Brady, what does he feel about this new system as opposed to the old one?
Yeah, okay, so this is a kid that, I mean, he's my little brother, and I love him to death.
Right.
And this is a kid that over this past 6 months I've seen become confident, and he loves the system. He's like, it's just so much different. It's so much better because you got Joey Hunt up there, and he's calling the snap calls now. I mean, it's all on the O-line, and Brady loves it. I mean, he loves that the fact that he's getting confidence from his teammates and his coaches. He's focused, and he really enjoys it.
That's awesome. And they're going to be challenged. OU's got this big striker guy, and he is a huge weapon for them as defensive tackle type. And I think Big V's the one that's got to take him on. It's either Big V or Big Teo, So it's going to be a challenge, and hopefully we're ready for that challenge. OU is Bob Stoops. They're ranked number 4 in the nation. The national pundits, all of them have them in the playoff.
Yeah.
It sure would be nice to upset that and to start our run, because we've got some tough games here. We've got OU, and we're going to have to take every one of them one at a time. There's no way to look ahead in the Big 12 with OU, Baylor, Kansas State coming up.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. We finally get Oklahoma State at home. Right?
Yeah, Oklahoma State at home. I mean, it's a tough run, and but this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
You got to be part of that transition
That's what we signed up
get
for.
a year in. That's what we signed up. I can tell you there was a lot more intensity when you played in a Big 12 game than a Mountain West game, I would think.
I mean, you're going against, instead of one rotation of great players, you're playing 2 rotations of great players. I mean,
that is awesome. We're the running back. Let's go back to the running back situation. Key Ford broke his leg earlier, and now they got this bowling ball of a running back. Sean, do you have some footage of this guy?
I've got lots of footage.
All
of
right,
this guy.
let's see a little bit about P. Ryan here.
Yeah. So, P. How do you say his first name again?
Well, his first name is Samaje. P. Ryan. Samaje P. Ryan.
The kid is good.
He is.
He's very good. He's a bowling ball.
It really is. Like I said, they call him the Tank.
The Tank.
And against West Virginia, he scores 4 touchdowns.
Right.
So I've got highlights of each of these 4. So here's the first one. And sorry for those of you out there in the audience who can't see it, but
you can't see it on your iPhone if you're
well,
logged on.
If you're logged in to the
you're
live
logged
stream
in
app,
your
you can
iPhone.
actually
You're
see
set
it.
up on the app, the live stream app. You can't see it on your iPhone.
Smallwood in motion. P. Ryan gonna get there. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And he just bulldozes in from the 2-yard line. And the interesting thing is there's going to be a reoccurring theme through these 4 highlights as we actually look at it, because
right.
I broke these 4 down, and yeah, I'm not like Coach B or Meacham breaking these things down, but there was one thing I did notice that was kind of the key to P. Ryan's success here, and that is, if you watch here, number 48, he is their big senior fullback. Aaron Ripkowski. What a great football name that is. Ripkowski, right?
Well, that sounds like something out of the 40s and 50s.
Oh, this guy is 250 pounds of just all muscle. And let me tell you, his offensive stats are astounding. He has, over his career at OU, 0 carries for 0 yards, 0 catches, except for this year at Tulsa. He had his first career catch. But here's the thing, this guy has played in every single game the last couple of years for OU.
Well, you know what that tells you?
Yeah,
he's a glorified offensive lineman in the backfield.
Really is.
A man can block.
He can block, absolutely. This is like a Jason Witten or Moose starter kit. So if you watch here, number 48, he's right here. And as we play through this, what you're going to see is a big old guard, number 74, is going to pull. And what's going to start this is that you'll see these 3 defensive backs here for West Virginia in the end zone. And number 48 is basically just going to bowl these guys over. Right there, opening it up.
Wow.
They really didn't even need the guard to pull on that play for P. Ryan to score.
And you know, it's a big thing. Going back to Oklahoma's O-line play, I mean, the right side of the O-line made this play happen, blocking down on all these guys.
Yeah, they're mashing them in there.
Picking up the linebacker, and they're bulldozing these guys, opening up a lane for them.
Well, as you know, Chucky Hunter in games, not going to lay down on
Yeah, he won't do that.
They won't do that. These guys, I mean, our defensive line is strong this year.
Oh, they've been like that since they were young.
Absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got the second touchdown here for P. Ryan. This one actually starts 1st and goal at the West Virginia 9, and this was, let's see here.
Virginia 9. P. Ryan still on his feet. That's why they call him the tank.
Now, this was the one that made SportsCenter. Everybody was impressed, right? He's bouncing off of two guys, keeps his balance, everybody goes in. But once again, I mean, if you take a look at the tape again, you kind of go, how much do you hang your hat on your run defense?
Right.
And of course, his answer was, you know, it's everything. I mean, that's it. I mean, when you can stop the run, there's very few things that they can do through the air to beat you. Right. But when you can't stop the run, it makes for a long day.
Makes for a long day. Well, I tell you guys, I'm really looking for this match. You know, the national pundits are saying, well, we're ranked 25th now, and they're saying, yeah, wait a minute about TCU because they haven't played anybody yet. And you know what? You can't have it both ways. You look at these national pundits like Keith Herbstreit and some of these guys that say, you know, all they're doing is pumping Michigan and pumping the Big Ten and the Pac-10, and they want to get out of the Big 12. If it's not the SEC, they're going there. And, you know, here we are. We actually absolutely just stonewalled Minnesota, and then Minnesota goes up and blows Michigan.
And that might actually be a really good win at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Minnesota, I mean, if they continue to win, could look really well, but very little credit we're given so far. You know, and then you look at Baylor, and Baylor's living off last year right now, and they do have an unbelievably potent offense down there. But
very talented.
But we'll see next week when they play a real defense. You know, I don't know how much of a challenge they'll get out of Texas this week, but, you know, speaking of Baylor, they haven't played anybody. You know, they played nobody anymore. They ranked number 7, 6.
Well, I think that's one of the things all the talking heads are saying, right? I mean, their out-of-conference schedule is so poor, it's actually hurting them at the moment.
Absolutely. So, well, guys, you know, big game, Blaze. I know you're ready for it. I know Brady's ready for it.
I'm excited to see what our O-line's going to do.
I'm excited to see what they're going to do, too. Blaze, thanks for coming up here today, talking with it. And guess what? We got another $25 Brewsters gift certificate here. You know, I know Brewsters is not open for breakfast, so you can't come in here and get a cinnamon roll out of that.
That's
because, and I know it's not enough for you for dinner, but you'll make the best of it there.
We'll make it work.
Maybe bring a date in here and let her have a little bit.
We'll see.
We'll see. Blaze, thank you. We'll have you back up there
sir.
again.
Good
luck. Thank you. All right. Well, let's get ready to break away here for our last segment. And one more time, let's talk about those great wings.
Hey, KillerFrogs, I'm here at Brewsters today. And as you know, you get 30% off on your food with the coupon you get off of KillerFrogs. What you didn't know is that every Wednesday, they've got Wild Wing Wednesday. 60 cents per wing, a 6-wing minimum. You got 4 different flavors to choose from: buffalo, barbecue bourbon, Thai chili, and the famous Caribbean jerk. Speaking of Caribbean jerks, I'm going to have one myself right now.
Go Frogs!
Go Frogs!
Okay, we're back. Again, I think that was a stunt double doing those wings. I don't get that. I ate that many wings. I know
that many wings.
I know they're good. I know they're good, and I know I wouldn't want Wes to have any of those wings. And so, boy, that's a lot of wings. They sure are good here. Well, you know, we're here for our last segment. We've got about 10 minutes here, Sean, and to talk about and like I said, the game of the week. I feel like, and I think a lot of people feel like, is this OU TCU game. 2:30 this Saturday. We expect a sellout crowd. I think it's going to be, you know, a pretty wild atmosphere coming out here.
I agree.
What do you expect?
It's going to be a packed house.
We one of the big deals on KillerFrogs that constantly talk about is people not in the seats, but I don't think we're going to have the problem this game.
No, I don't think this will be like Kansas was last year.
And
this is everyone's going to get there early, be loud from the opening kickoff, all the way through to the end. I think this atmosphere is going to be amazing. It's going to be pumped. Even some of the players we talked to yesterday at the press conference,
right?
They were all asked, what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like? And all of them are expecting this to be almost, if you remember the Utah game. Remember that Utah game in 2010?
Absolutely. It was a fantastic, and we just absolutely destroyed them on ESPN.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
That was a lot of fun that night. But it's going to be rocking. The weather's going to be nice. Supposed to be 82, 83, almost fall-like. And so us East Siders, as I was a former West Sider, East Side.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that. We don't want to get East West.
No, because then we're going to hear about from Maniac. And
we don't want to hear from Maniac.
I don't want to go there.
Well, Mr. TCU likes to tell us about the West Side, doesn't he? and the Blue Hairs, and Maniac's a great guy and has a lot of passion. But in all honesty, there is an issue there which goes on there on the West Side, and it's a difficult issue. You've got. We probably do need to touch on it because every week it comes up about the empty seats over there. You got the club section, them staying in there and not coming out and watching the game, and then of course the 100s below, right there on the 50-yard line. You've got a skating rink down there, pretty much, and now I think they've filled that up with a little table seating where they can order food in there and stuff.
The club area.
But and the argument back from TCU is that. These people are the people that built the stadium, the people that built the program, and
I gave the money. And unlike Baylor, who's mortgaged the next 3 decades on their stadium, ours is paid off.
Ours is paid
100%.
Off. We're debt free on that.
That's something to be very proud of if you're a TCU fan.
And and we continue, Chris Del Conte and gang, and our great chancellor and football program and. Baseball program with Coach Schlossnagel, and Coach Johnson's a great guy. We hope to have him down here in a few weeks. But we're doing a lot of good things. Some of our other sports, equestrian, girls volleyball, sand volleyball. Everybody's talking about
Everyone's
sand
waiting
volleyball.
for sand volleyball.
Everybody can't wait.
Everyone out here is waiting for sand volleyball too.
I'm up. I'm one of the last 3 that's going to be one of the sand volleyball mascots, but I'm up there. They're in discussion if they want my bikini look or my one-piece look.
Looks like we got a call coming in.
We got a call coming in. Who is this?
It looks like Wes. How about that?
Well, let's see who's calling in.
Well, that's if he can hit the call button.
Wes, are you on the line?
Remember, Wes is in Chicago.
Wes
so he's probably
is in Chicago,
sitting at Ditka's right now. Oh, no, wait, there he is.
Here he comes. Let's get Wes Phelan, my partner in crime, on here. We're going to try to get him online. He's up in Chicago. Hey, Wes, are you with us?
I am with you.
Oh, wow. There he is, the Grand Poobah. You're actually getting a crowd out here cheering for you.
That's great. Well, for me?
Yeah, they're cheering for you.
That's all for you, Wes.
Absolutely. It's only because of some really nice things I said about you at the start of the show.
You're being very generous. I was actually able to watch. I was able to watch the show from the onboard Wi-Fi. So.
Oh, really?
I caught most of it. Yeah. They shut it down just before we landed, but I was able to watch it. So.
Well, do you think
it looks good?
You think we'll have show 2 then, huh?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
They can work? Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. I hope it's been fun for everybody tonight. We missed having you here. Are you going to be here with us next week?
I'll be there next week. Absolutely.
All right. So, Wes, what's your thoughts on the big game this week?
Well, it's going to be a tough one, but you know what? We always play them close and play them hard, and we're at home and have a good crowd. Hey, I'm saying the Frogs win. So don't ask me for a score, but I say we win.
I'm with you, Wes. Of course, I'm going to be a homer. And if I was Oklahoma, I'd say no way. But knowing TCU, the way we've seen them perform in games, the last 2 years we were close in both those games. Could have won either one of those games. And but we had no offense the last 2 years. This year, I think our offense is going to create, even though we're not spinning on all cylinders yet, every week we continue to improve. We have nothing but upside to go with our offense.
That's exactly right. And we have improved every week, and we'll improve again this week, even though the opponent's going to be tough.
Well, it is going to be tough, and we're looking forward to it. You know, we've got this going on this week. You know, one of the things we're discussing, Sean, are we going to be able to actually go live at halftime on live stream?
We are working on it, but yeah, one of the things we're working on is to actually go live at halftime.
That would be
from
great.
The stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's some more of our nonsense as we go there. You know, people get tired. The cartoons are over on Saturday morning, so I can get a little more.
That was bad.
There we go.
My kids were very depressed.
Very depressed.
But at least they can replace it with you.
Absolutely. There's nothing more than a big cartoon.
One cartoon for a clown.
There you go. Well, something in that order. We got some big games this week, guys. Besides our game, we got Baylor at Texas. Wes, how do you see that coming out?
You know what? I'm going to be optimistic and say Texas wins.
You're going to be optimistic and say Texas win. They're going to have to.
Yeah, I don't see how they're going to do it, but I say they win.
Well, you know, nobody gets better talent than Texas. You know, you'd think maybe they would start improving. You know, and if they do start improving, they could be dangerous. I just hope they hadn't improved that much by Thanksgiving, but we'll see how that goes. It would be nice for them probably to knock Baylor down, but then again, I have other thoughts. I'd like to get Baylor while they're undefeated.
Yeah, well, I couldn't catch that last part, Scott.
Well, I was talking about how it would be nice if they beat Texas, but I'd sure like the Frogs to play them when they're undefeated and beat them.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be the better scenario.
Sean.
And you know what? We're going to beat them.
Good. Okay, another game we got this week in the Big 12, Iowa State versus Oklahoma State. What do you think is going to go on there, Sean?
Iowa State's improved, but I don't think they're improved enough to actually beat Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State's going to roll in that game by at least 2 scores.
Okay, two scores
easily,
in that?
Easily. In fact, I think Oklahoma State, it's a young team. I think as they get more confidence, I think that's one team that I've got circled on my calendar because we have not beat them yet.
Right.
And we finally get them in Fort Worth after playing them twice in Oklahoma. And that's one game, it's a question mark to me. I don't really know exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, I'm going to give you a softball, Wes. Who's going to win the Kansas Jayhawks at West Virginia?
Oh, God. Well, if an eating contest, I thought we would have won. I'm going to say West Virginia goes with this one.
That's going to be a disaster. And Sean, finish this up here with Texas Tech at K-State.
Well, as a TCU fan, I'm rooting for K-State.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're never going to get me to say Texas Tech's going to win a game.
Texas Tech got the worst fans in the conference.
They look like a hot mess right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about that redhead that we saw at SMU. No, they are all over the place.
Do we have a clip of that redhead?
No, we're not going to.
We're not going to run that clip of that redhead. Well, we had some discussion on that. I saw the boys on the Specialty Threads deal. Maybe it had its own thread talking about it, but there were a lot in favor and a lot out of favor. But I think whatever Ron Swanson goes with that group pretty much go. And I think Ron said down on the redhead, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm kind of agreeing with him on this. So.
Well, guys, we're about to wrap up our first show here.
Before we go, though, how about a prediction for Saturday? Wes, what do you think? Give me a score. I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a score.
For Saturday, okay. I think we 24-17.
24-17.
And I'm going to interrupt right here and say that was the exact score that I was saying, 24-17 Frogs. That's it. I thought about it already this afternoon. I promise you. So now it's down to you, Sean.
Right, 24-17. Well, I will tell you, 17 seems to be a theme. Some of you all may have seen some people sending us some love notes throughout the entire show here. But We had one here, a couple of predictions. TCU 31, OU 17.
31 to 17.
Here's the thing. One thing we didn't talk about when we talked about OU. TCU has never scored more than 20 points against OU since Gary Patterson's been here.
And
can you believe that stat?
Yeah, no, I can't believe that, but I think this will be the first time.
Well, I agree, because I think
first
finally for the first time since Patterson's been here, the offense is no longer playing to that tried and true mantra of just one more point. I think the offense is starting to click. I think they're getting some confidence in. I'm going to predict that TCU scores 34 and OU scores 13.
13. Wow. I tell you what, that means our defense is going to come up big, and if our defense can hold them under 20, the Frogs are going to win this game.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's a gutsy call, Sean.
It's a gutsy call. Well, Wes, we're at the end of our time, and we didn't even get to have other call-ins tonight. We were so busy. We hope to have people calling in our next show. We had a great crowd out here. How about another big hand out here? Big thank y'all for coming out tonight. We got a full house crowd in here tonight, and we were glad to have them. And maybe next week we'll be able to get some of them on camera so you can all see each other. This is our first night. Great job, Sean. You set us up here, and
well, you too, Scott.
Well,
you talked the entire time.
I appreciate. Well, that's easy for me to do. But
yes.
Sean, thank you very much for producing the show and putting all this together. You've worked hard, and we will see you guys next week. We'll see you Saturday at the ball game. How about a big Go Frogs?
All right.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.